YB stays on your neck.
Yo, my dance, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and obviously hit the bell for notifications. So obviously, as you man know who watched my video yesterday, Eddie Ironclad Hearn and Anthony Jurisdictional Joshua executed a lawsuit against Andres Ponce Ruiz, and that was an exclusive story broke by the YEB. Then obviously everyone else jumped on the bandwagon and trying to all this kind of business. Bottom line is it was broke exclusively by the YB's inside sources from in the South New York judiciary. Bottom line. Now this video right here I'm doing this video really as an update because it's been brought to the YB's attention that this legal business has indeed now been withdrawn. And before I go into that particular thing, I want to laugh at this whole Mike Coppinger business, because let's get something straight. Mike Coppinger comes along 21 hours ago and says, "Oh, sources, Matchroom began legal process last week." No, there's no good saying last week now, boss, because you weren't mentioning it last week. In fact, until the YB brought it to your attention, you was the one ranting and raving about, "Oh, yes, it's on." In fact, this Don here, Mike Coppinger's the one who broke that it's all on. You didn't know about no litigation until the YB quite kindly brought it to your attention. Don't try to make out you had the exclusive, but oh yes, sources began last week. Well, if it was last week, why didn't you mention it last week then? Don't make no sense. You can't. It's like you can't break a story and then say last week at the front. In fact, you know what? I might start doing that. Whenever I get a story, I'll say last week. Last week it was brought to my attention that no, you didn't know. The YB informed you, and now you know. Bottom line, what people need to start doing is start referencing where they're getting their information from. But that's what I'm asking for. What I'm asking for is a little piece of credit. Because guess what? When Mike Coppinger puts his stuff out, guess what the YB does? The YB says, Mike Coppinger. Simple. What people need to start doing is, as brought to my attention by the YB, that's that. Anyway, cracking on with the news now. As I started off this video, Team AJ seem to have withdrawn this lawsuit. Now, whatever you man do not get it twisted. This is very simple stuff. The reason it got withdrawn was because Andres Ponce Ruiz fell into line swiftly. This makes me laugh, you know. And I'm going to start, normally I'd be brief and I'd say YouTubers, but I'm going to start calling names. And most particularly Hatman. Let's get something straight. Hatman's posted many videos out after these last few weeks saying, "Oh yes, Al Gaiman, oh he's so smart. Oh yeah, Eddie Hearn's really in for it now. Al Gaiman knows something. Oh, Al Gaiman must really know something because he's adamant that they're going to do it on their terms." And obviously Andy Ruiz has been saying, "It's going to be on my terms. We're going to bring it back to New York." So with that, Hatman and all these other idiots, all these other LDBC wannabes jumped on the bandwagon. Fanny Nanny, another one talking about Al Gaiman gonna show Al Heyman's a real businessman. That's what they was all shouting from the rooftops, and fair play to them. They was all shouting from the rooftops that Al Gaiman and Andres Ponce Ruiz were the dons in control. They were talking about bringing it back to New York. They were talking about gonna be on my terms. They were talking about how smart Gaiman is, and Al Gaiman holds all the cars, and Al Gaiman's the puppet master. All I know is the second Hearn, he didn't even really flex his legal might. He just gave him a little taste of it. Guess what happened? Al Gaiman, Andres Ponce Ruiz waved the white flag so hard. I've got to be honest. Let's get something straight. When the YB's wrong, the YB's wrong. I actually expected, in a way, I feel a bit guilty. I actually expected Al Gaiman to have a bit more about him. Because you've heard my line. My whole line's been, oh yeah, Al Gaiman's he's going to be really into this. He's got all the lawyers on it, and Andy Ruiz wants to go to court. That was my line. Little did I know, he's full of hot air. Bottom line, he's full of hot air. I was giving him too much ratings, because what we do know now is, the minute there was even a smidgen, because just to get something straight, the reason Andres
Ponce was playing around. The reason Al Gaiman was playing around was because Hearn was letting him. And this is something I also did say, to be fair. I did say, Hearn, don't mess around. Just take it to court. Stop playing. Just cut to the chase. All this business of, oh yeah, it's all going on fine. Oh yeah, all this business of trying to smooth it over. Leave that behind. Take him to court. And funnily enough, YB once again right. The minute you did that, this is what you have to. This is how you treat pussies. You keep them in line. You have to constantly. This is how you treat sheep. Team AJ, wolves. Gaiman, sheep. The wolves must herd the sheep. The dogs must herd the sheep. That's how it works. And luckily enough for Heyman, the wolves and the herd of dogs managed to really rein him in, and without too much. Without too much. What's the word? Without too much going wrong, Al Heyman was abruptly brought back in line, and rightly so. Back in line, bottom line. Ruiz back in line, and it's so funny. You know, as I was saying, I was actually rating Gaiman, thinking he had something up his sleeve, and thinking he was actually going to try it. But this just goes to show, this for me, if anyone else wants to question it, Hatman wants to talk about, oh yeah, so Gaiman's so smart. If Gaiman was that smart, why didn't he roll the dice in New York? Let's get something straight as well. All you dons, all you LDBC dons are talking about, yeah, man, the New York the USA legal system, man, yeah. Contracts don't mean nothing over here, man. Yeah, athletes, we shit on contracts, man. Yeah, cock-a-doodle-doo. That's what you was all saying. I thought, you know what? Maybe you're right. And I knew he was wrong, but maybe you're right, no problem. Let's see. And to be honest, as I keep mentioning, I was actually sitting there licking my chops, waiting to see someone this Al Gaiman puppet master. That's what I've been told. All I know about Al Gaiman is all the stories I've heard about how wicked he is at business now, and how ruthless and how greasy he is. Tutus. A UK Don, Eddie Ironclad Hearn, flies over and absolutely, this for me is an emasculating, this for me is embarrassing for Al Gaiman. He's meant to have all the links. People were commenting on my video saying, oh, you don't know YB, Al Gaiman's got links within the New York court, and where were the links at then? Because all I know is, Hearn executed Eddie Hearn plaintiff, matchroom plaintiff, Andres Ponce Ruiz defendant, TGB Promotions defendant, Al Gaiman defendant. It was all done. All they had to do at that point was show their masterfulness. That's all Al Gaiman had to do. It's not as if I was asking for Al Gaiman to execute anything. Eddie Hearn did it for him. Eddie Hearn rolled the dice for him. What did he do? He shit himself and said, I've got the exclusive wiretap for you now. This right here, I'm going to play you a clip now of Al Gaiman on the phone. This is what happened. I've heard from people inside the camp. The second they saw the YB's video confirming legal action was executed, Al Gaiman picked the phone up and rang Ruiz and said, oh man, Ruiz, man, you gotta sign that contract, man. You gotta put out the promotional material, man. Eddie Hearn gonna have our guts for goddess, man. Oh, and Andres Ponce Ruiz, man, you gotta put that promotional material out, man. Oh man, Andres Ponce Ruiz, you gotta tweet, man. Yeah, you got Instagram, man. That's what he was saying. You've heard the clip there. That was Al Gaiman in a frantic rant, begging Andy Ruiz to put the promotional material out there. And funny enough, what do we also know? Me, myself, I actually said, one of the key things that shows someone being on board, because we know, contractually speaking, putting out promotional material, that's part of a contract. So when someone starts doing that, that's how you know they're in line. 2-2's what happens? Eddie Hearn gets the legal dice rolling. Al Gaiman had two choices, and I actually gave him too much credit. I actually gave him too much respect. I thought he did know something. I thought he was about something. He proved Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn's he's just above all. He's on another level now. As I explained, this case, I was actually expecting this case to prove Eddie Hearn was another level. I was expecting Eddie Hearn to win this case and prove he was another level. This for me is actually above that. At least if Al Gaiman had gone to court, he would have showed his nuts. He'd let his nuts hang. And if you lose, you lose. I could have respected that. But the fact that all it took was a sniffing of Hearn not playing anymore, and Al Gaiman put his hands in the air and said, you know what, Eddie, you're on another league to me. I'm used to fanning around and speculating. I'm used to just bluffing. That's all Al Gaiman was. This proves Al Gaiman is a bluffer. All you man talking about, oh, our gamer knows something, he must know this, he must know that. It proves he don't know squat, because he didn't dare go court. And I feel sorry, actually, for all the LDBC followers who are actually gassing Gamer up. You man was literally telling me that he knows people in the court. You were telling me he knows something. You were telling me it was going to be on their terms. You were telling me it weren't happy in Saudi. You were telling me he was getting paid more money. You were telling me it was going to be in New York. 2-2s. My man's posting about, oh, I can't wait. Andy Ruiz, I can't. What was it, a week ago? A week ago, Andy Ruiz was saying, gonna be on my terms. Gonna be in New York. New news coming soon. New news soon. That's what he was saying. Getting everyone gassed. I actually feel sorry for you followers as well, because you man was getting gassed. You man was getting gassed off Andy Ruiz. All you man was in my comments saying, oh, YB, oh, YB, new news. Oh, Andy Ruiz told you. Oh, new news coming soon. Oh, Andy Ruiz told you. Oh, he's going to New York. Oh, Andy Ruiz told you he's going to be on his terms. Oh, that's what you man was saying. What do we know now? Go and check. In fact, never mind. What do we know now? Go and check Andy Ruiz's Instagram and Twitter. Or I've always wanted to come to Saudi. I can't wait to fight in Saudi. Wait there a minute. I thought you weren't coming to Saudi. Wait there a minute. I thought you weren't coming to Saudi. I thought he was going to New York. I thought he was going to be on your terms. Which one, out of them three options there, which one has Andy Ruiz fulfilled? None. Which shows you how much power Andres Ponce Ruiz has. None. And this for me is a mugging situation. I don't want to hear nothing more about Al Gaiman. Because one thing we know, it's funny, everyone used to rate Eddie Hearn in the UK. They'd all say, oh yeah, Eddie Hearn's the king of the UK, but he can't come to the USA. What we do know is, Hearn came to the US and schooled Al Gaiman in court. Al Gaiman had his opportunity to take it to court. He bottled it. Andres Ponce Ruiz had his opportunity. This is what business is about. Business, the best business is actually litigated in courts, you'll find. That's how it goes. 9 times out of 10. That's where the best business is done. Look at all the divorcees. Look at that Bezos' wife securing $50 billion. The best business is done through courts. That's how you know what levels you're dealing with here. And actually, funnily enough, I actually did some research into Eddie Hearn's legal team, because it showed who was working whose case. And listen, Eddie Hearn's legal team weren't playing. He had all the dons in there. He had the proper works in there. And you look at Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz didn't have no one. That's the problem with Al Gaiman. Al Gaiman talks a big game. He gets all his fighters gassed. But when it comes to actually backing the beef, you don't want to know. That's why Andy Ruiz had to put his hands in there. And I actually heard that when Andres Ponce Ruiz heard he was getting sued, he rang Al Gaiman and he couldn't get hold of him for a few days. Because Al Gaiman knew the gig was up and he thought, you know what, I'm just going to hide out and see if this blows over. And then when he found out it weren't going to blow over, guess what he did? He picked the phone up, and that's when you heard the recording I played earlier of him begging Ruiz to get the promotional contract out there ASAP. To put the promotional material out there ASAP before Eddie Hearn comes and takes some more money from them. That's the bottom line. Because he realised and he knew at that point. The reason Al Gaiman's so frantic in that recording is because how it works in a judicial system, whatever that fucking word is, how it works in that system is, every day you're defaulting, that's value added for Hearn. Every day that you play around, that's more money. That's why Al Gaiman was so frantic, begging Andy Ruiz to put the promotional material out there, because every day that he was ticking by, that's another $1 million. And Al Gaiman's already spent $10 million trying to find all these loopholes that all you man was gassing up, all you LDBC were talking about. Yeah, man, y'all think Al Gaiman gonna be going to Saudi Arabia? Yeah, man, we from New York, we're big city, man. Yeah, we USA, man, we do it different over here. Where was it doing it different then? Because where I'm sitting, your man jacked. The first sign of anything kicking off, your Donny was nowhere to be found. Al Gaiman shit his pants. Bottom line, that's what we do know. Never mind nothing else. How it sits factually now is Al Gaiman has no bottle. Al Gaiman actually knows nothing. He's a massive. Oh, to his credit, Al Gaiman is a master bluff artist. He has no substance, because if he did, he'd have shown it. Yeah. And I actually feel sorry for Andy Ruiz, because Andy Ruiz's reputation has gone downhill, because let's get something straight. As I mentioned a second ago, all you Ruiz fans who was in my comment section talking about new news coming soon, gonna be on my terms, gonna bring it home to New York, all that business. You man was getting. You heard the video on IG. Andy Ruiz was giving it the big one, talking about where it's gonna be and where it's not gonna be, and how much you're gonna control. That's what he was gassed. Got you man gassed, and now it turns out he literally has no control. He bottled the court case. It'll be in Saudi. And for me, part of me wishes that Hearn just put another one on them and say, you know what, actually, we're going to bring him back to the UK, because do you know what that would prove? That there would walk over it. Gaiman's already dead and buried, but that they would walk over his grave just to really punk Ruiz off and just to really show that they have no say in anything, which they don't. Because as we already know, Ruiz already told you once he's not coming to Saudi. Ruiz already told you once he's going to be on his terms. Ruiz already told you once he's going to be in New York. Which one of them three did Ruiz achieve? Not going to be in Saudi, failed that miserably. Going to be on his terms, failed that miserably. Going to be in New York, failed that miserably. Taking all L's, yeah? All L's. What we do know is, Eddie Hearn and AJ said from the start, our contract will notify Ruiz where the location is. Hearn and Team AJ, they 1 for 1. Yeah? Hearn's been saying from the start, we tell them where it is. They told you it was Saudi, and then let it be so. Yeah? Eddie Hearn's wish is Andy Ruiz's command. I've been saying it from the start. You man didn't want to listen. You man was talking about belts. You man was talking about Gaiman, and belts and Gaiman didn't end up didn't do a lick, did they? Because when it came to court, belts and Gaiman didn't want to know about no court. Simple. Anyway, let me finish off by talking about... You know what, actually, I'll save that for a different video because I've ranted enough. You man keep it locked, obviously. Your boy will be coming with more exclusive sources.